Let me shift.
Uh-oh.
No, you're fine. I just had to shift.
Like my leg. Ah, my
Right.
leg. Oh damn. Well, there's that red box in the corner. The one I look forward to at least. I don't know, once, sometimes twice a week. That lets you
Right.
know that it is that time of the week, people. Yes, it is time for the quick 30 with your host, two-time ATL's hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Well, my motto is simple: own the building. And I don't even have to introduce this young lady because y'all don't
I
see her.
mean,
Y'all don't see her a couple of times already. Y'all probably
exactly.
yeah, that's what
Exactly.
y'all should know who she is. But for the people been living under a rock for the last 2 weeks, tell these people who you are and what you do, shout it.
Well, the name says I am Miss Parker, and that's who I am. So by day, I'm a fearless educator. And by night, I'm actually on the show right here with DJ Agony, and we just get ready to give you 30 minutes of the things that you want to talk about. Why? Because we talk about the things that you want to, but you just for whatever reason choose not to. So that's why we're here. Give you a quick 30 on this fabulous Tuesday. And after that, we're going to go ahead and, bow out. But back to you,
Yeah,
Agony.
yeah. And so I just think it's funny though. It is funny how this whole thing played out. So last week, good goddamn last week. First of all, appreciate everybody that came through last week to the Dope Show, the second version of the Planet Period. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever had a guest on back to back in the same week. Like,
Back
I
to
mean, in
back
the
to back.
with right back, and now it's a three-peat. Like, it's I mean, we talking like the Bulls in the '90s,
Exact shot town, baby. I'm just going to say, like my Bulls, three-peat.
two three-peats,
Two
two three-peats.
three-peats.
So
But them
in
folks.
last week's show, if you were attentive and alert and really like paying attention, like we talked about the whole thing with Sierra and Russell Wilson and just the scope and the image of their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I be damn. These folks try to prove us right, Parker. They try to prove us right. So we
Oh,
turn around
oh,
and
baby.
this week at the Oscars, at a Vanity Fair after party. Now I
Right.
hear that the theme of the party was sheer. Okay, I get it. And with that being said, Sierra took it to heart and showed up all but ass naked to the party. But she was wearing sheer. She had on sheer. It was sheer too. I seen it. And it's one of those things to where, and I think it's quite interesting that the internet's actually divided on this. You got half the people saying that, yo, that's not how a wife should look. You know what I'm saying? That's not how a mother should look. She should come out the house like that, this, that, and the third. If she respected her husband, that's the biggest thing I hear on that side. If she respected her husband, she wouldn't come out the house like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I hear on the other side, got people saying that, oh well, if her husband thinks it's fine, then why should we care? As Sierra is sexy, she's a mom, she got this 100 many kids, but she's still sexy. So why should we care about what's going on with them, this, that, and the third?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the comments that I saw, and I had to address it, showed a bunch of white actresses wearing something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and take point on this one. So the fuck what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I just got to say this that just because white people do it does not mean that it's acceptable. That would mean, if anything, it's unacceptable. We do not hold ourselves. We should not hold ourselves to the standard of what white people do. If anything, we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. So telling me that Gwyneth Paltrow did it and Cameron Diaz did it, even though she's not even white, but
Yeah,
the
he's,
whole
she's a Spanish. Mm-hmm.
right. But I don't know if she knows or not. I don't know. But however, holding ourselves to the standard of Jennifer Aniston is just it's unacceptable. So anybody that co-signs that oh if they did it, so should be able to. Nah, nah. You've completely lost this argument, and you're completely lost on this one. I'm gonna need you to really go back and really go unask yourself on that one. Go find yourselves on that one, like for real, because I cannot co-sign just because a white actress does it. Why are we giving Sierra Hill? We give it Sierra Hill because she's one of us. She is us, and we should, like I said, I keep saying should hold ourselves to a higher standard. I got my boy Cutter Cody checking in right quick. What's Sam, boy? But
Well,
go ahead.
well, my opinion is, I see both sides of the coin. I do. I do see where you have women who are saying, here we go again. Men are trying to tell women what to do with their bodies. Men are trying to say what is acceptable, what's not acceptable. And then on the other hand, you have men who are saying this is not the way a wife should present herself. This is not the way a mother should present herself. And I think at the same time, I could see both sides, but it goes back to what I've said before. We don't listen to each other. At the end of the day, now I can go ahead and give my personal opinion. I don't care for it. I don't care for the attire. And the reason why I don't care for it as a woman, I'm not telling this woman what to do with her body. She is, and that's the beauty about this thing called life. God gives us free will. And you are able to do what it is that you want to do. For me, when you have taken on a role, see that's probably why I have not done it yet. And it's probably why I have marriage at such a high standard, because I understand the spiritual connection as well as the emotional and the physical connection that takes place when two people become one. At the end of the day, you're not a girlfriend anymore. You're a wife. Now, she's showing us she's just married. But when you're a wife, that's a badge of honor. The very temple that you give to your husband anytime he wants it, day, night, couple times, whatever. This is something that you all share. This is private. This is intimate.
Not no more.
And exactly, not
Oh, it's
anymore.
public now.
Yeah, not anymore. So for me, I don't necessarily, did this hair, man. I don't necessarily care for it, because it just to me defies completely defies exactly what it is to me to be a wife. And it doesn't mean that I believe she's ladylike, but okay, you've already come to a situation as a ready-made family. You're showing the world what other people got before you got with your husband. Your husband wasn't your first.
Wait a minute, God
You,
damn, the world got it.
I'm just, I'm just saying. Uh, your husband wasn't your first. You weren't your husband first.
Shit.
You know. So, but this is this belongs to him. Your temple belongs to him. His temple belongs to you. Just certain things, honestly, should just be off limits, and it should just be for that husband and that wife. And that's just my opinion about it. It has nothing to do with her being a mother, but because fast forward, these images aren't going anywhere. So now you have three children and one on the way. So you're going to be a mother of four. Those children are going to see these images one day, and they're going to have questions. Are you going to be prepared to answer them? So, but I mean, I do understand, because especially on the cusp of things that we have battled with as women, and abortion being you know being the whole thing that it is now, where it's against the law and this and that. So I do understand, as a woman, I do understand what my sisters are saying. Here we go again. Someone else is telling us what to do with our bodies. She should not be ashamed of her body. No one's saying be ashamed. But when you take on, this is bigger than being an entertainer. This is bigger than him being a football player. She's a wife. And if you're going to understand what that role truly is, so many people can't wait for the day. So you spend so much money on the day, but the marriage, coming together, being one, certain things are just kind of off limits when I'm married. There's just certain things that are, because right now she's looking like a single woman who's advertising, a single woman who's looking to get the attention
And
that,
it's funny that you said her kids might have questions. That attire didn't really leave much to question.
I mean, the question might be, mama, where your pants? Mama, where your clothes? So are you going to be prepared to answer those questions? I got a question for me. Someone has a question for me.
Cutter Codeine, what you got for me?
But they're a Sakes fan. Do I want to answer it? I'm just playing. What's your question?
But and that's the thing. It's it's kind of like what I don't know. It's like you proving Future's point right now.
You're kind of proving everyone's point right now. And again, you can't live your life based off of what people are saying, but I think for women, we just have to listen. You have men who are speaking up saying, this is not how I want my wife to look. This is not how a wife should look. We have gotten to a place that I don't recognize anymore. When did it become a bad thing as a woman to listen to my brothers to find out exactly what they like, what they don't like? When did it become a bad thing for the brothers to listen to the sisters to decide what we like, and vice versa? But now we're so quick to give a response. We're not taking the time to understand. I
Quick to
understand.
defend.
Yeah, quick to defend, quick to
Hmm.
respond. And I understand when a man says, oh, this is not appropriate for a wife. I understand exactly what that means. You're talking about, as a man, first of all, a lot of women don't even really know what the true role a man brings to the table. Men are protectors, they're providers, they are there to redirect, they are there to guide. So if a man who his protection of you doesn't stop just because he might be away from you, the way, now to correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a man, but the way that I was taught, a man always thinks of different ways, even when if he's present or he's not, of how his family should be protected. Wife first, children, whomever come second. But if they already kind of have it in their mind, an idea of how I'm going to protect my woman, then there's just certain things that they just need to kind of be in order. How can I protect you from ridicule if this is what you do? How can I protect you from the naysayers if this is how you step out? Now, of course, Russell's presence being there does, people, well, her husband don't mind it. You don't know what kind of fight they had, because there was something in his eyes it
Hey,
just didn't. Yeah.
keep going. No, keep going, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you that Russell did care.
Oh,
Keep going.
of course. But at the same time, um again, we don't sit down and have those conversations like, okay, as a man, as my husband, as my future husband, whatever, you know how does this thing called protection work? It's not just if somebody calls you a name, you ready to move furniture. It's not about that. But it has everything to do with, how can I protect you? How can I hush the naysayers? How can I come to your defense? How can I prevent these things from happening if this is what you choose to do? They hear the rumors.
Look at
They
Russell.
hear it.
Look at Russell's face. Oh, Russell's somewhere caring, and that face right there
Oh,
says,
absolutely.
"I'm here. I'm
And,
here, but I'm not here."
and the reality of it is, he adores her. Let's tell the truth. He loves his wife, but it's at this point. What do you say?
I'm here.
Because
That's all he got.
and you also realize too. Remember, I said that I read something where when they first got together, he said he had to go in prayer. So he knows that between the two of them, maybe he's more spiritually grounded. Maybe he's more spiritually mature. So maybe what he is showing is a level of patience and understanding, knowing that she came from a world that didn't do right by her. Again, one of the first things that man did when he got with her, he did the one thing that the other men didn't do. He kept his hands off of her.
Here
So
go the.
that
Go ahead.
yeah, so that alone shows you that he's operating with a level of restraint and trying to do things differently. I mean, at the end of the day, too, this is his wife. He knows her because again, I remember meeting her. She's a sweetheart. She is, but clearly there's no big mama. Big mama's not present. There's no senior woman in her life that's telling her, no, baby, this is what you need to do. And it's not about, oh my gosh, let me cover up and be, this holy and then thou person, but it's just modesty at this point. I mean, modesty typically is supposed to come when you get older. You don't just when you get older, you don't maintain your figure or work out to just automatically be naked. You don't. You cover up a little bit more just because it's just like wine. You age, and as wine ages, it perfects itself. That's typically what's supposed to happen.
I thought when wine age it just get you drunker faster.
But like I said, yeah, it's hilarious how we had the conversation on Thursday and then Sunday this image is going viral. It's like, wow.
And so to all my people who was really setting it out there like that, and like I said, a lot of the argument I heard was that moms could still be sexy, wives could still be sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like we single-handedly picked out Sierra just to dump on her, which is not the case. But she was just the one with her everything hanging out.
And like I said,
I'm gonna give y'all an example. You keep going. I'm gonna give y'all an example of how a wife and a mom is out here just as sexy, but 200 times more clothed.
Let's see who we got. But like I said, I'll be the first to say, no, as a woman of color, I'm not going to bash a woman of color, but we have to we got to position ourselves to be corrected when we're wrong or say, sister, cover up. That's just like when Monique, who says that so many people reference her as auntie. And when she was talking about ladies, when we go into the airport, take off the bonnets. Don't wear pajamas when you're flying and things of that nature. So many women were in an uproar. But when did this shift happen? When did proper grooming, putting your best foot forward, looking the part, when did this become wrong? When? And that's the question I think I've had for a minute. When did a standard of how you step out? Mary Kay, a lot of people see those pink Cadillacs, but you can ask any Mary Kay consultant. Any Mary Kay consultant will tell you one thing they actually had was they had the saying, you don't leave your house without your face. And basically all that meant was you don't come out the house and you don't have something that represents your business. And this right here is a marketing tool. So you don't leave out the house in rollers. You don't leave out the house if you don't have you don't want to say you got to do the beat or you got to have the 5 layers or anything, but you don't step out your house without being the very best. Even if you have on a baseball hat, let the baseball hat match something. So step out and be the best representation of yourself. But when did we get to a place where mediocrity is now praised? It's not okay.
When we start, let's see, when you can't give out less than a 60 for how to say morale purposes. When they start giving out participation medals for everything, like when that era was ushered in, that's when mediocrity became the standard.
Yeah,
The standard was substandard at that point.
because
And
I mean, I
it's one of those things where I'm gonna get the and Cutter got a question for you. I see where it popped up in the chat, but before I get to that, I just want everybody to know if you didn't notice who that second picture was, that was Savannah James, LeBron James' wife.
looking, and
Now,
she looked beautiful.
yes, and guess what? I couldn't see her nothing. Yeah, it was a little. She had a little Cleveland sitting out there, but little Cleveland. But it was sexy, but it wasn't tasteless. Like she didn't look like I'm up here trying to find the next piece of $40
She
at step two. You know what I'm saying?
what she looked like to me is a beautiful woman with natural curves who because you could very well see that silhouette. She's built very nice, but she looks like beautiful. She looks like a woman. I'm going to cover up what belongs to LeBron because you all are going to see, because again, a wife is a representation of her husband. A husband is a representation of his wife. That we are not talking about girlfriends, fiancés. If you've been together 20, 30 years, no, we're talking about when you have taken on that spiritual connection of a wife, meaning that hopefully you have gone into prayer to learn how to love your husband, and your husband has gone into prayer to learn how to lead and love you. But Tina, hey boo, but
got Tina Cheatham in the building.
Yeah, there are, a husband and a wife represent one another. So Savannah, not only did she look like Savannah James, she was those three beautiful babies' mother, and more importantly, she was LeBron's wife. She represented herself so eloquently, and she looked beautiful.
What I got from those two pictures, to be honest, the one word that I got was actually it was two words. Well, no, it was one word. We'll just use one. I got the word respect out of that. If you look at the picture with Russell and Sierra, Russell's in that picture, and she don't give a blank and or expletive about not only how she's perceived, but how he's going to be perceived as well, because she stepped out like that. LeBron's not even in the picture.
And
she came out and she represented for her man and said, "Goddamn, okay, the curves, that's my auntie. Can't do nothing about that. But we're gonna put a little Cleveland on here, this nice fitting dress, woot. And she respected her man while he was not there. That's my biggest thing. Your man ain't even there, but you had the respect for him to come out looking like you had some sense and a little shot of home training. But Russell standing next to his woman, and she is blatantly disrespecting that man.
Because keep in mind, Russell still
goddamn Tina.
because keep in mind, but no, Tina is accurate.
Tina's right, accurate. But that don't mean it ain't funny.
People already think, and I love Russell, so I try to defend him. But no, people already think that he's weak. People already think that that's not really Sierra's type. So again, you don't have to answer to anyone. But when you put your business in the public, you got to be prepared for the public to walk right through it.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing. Like, one of the things that I kept seeing was, that's their life, that's their business. It really doesn't be your business no more once you put it out in the street. I saw an interview with Method Man the other day, and I have been saying this since God knows how long, but maybe people will listen because Method Man said it recently. I've been saying it. But because I'm not the ninth member of Wu-Tang, I'm not on Power. Nobody listens to what you
Method. What did Method Man say?
So they asked Method Man about his marriage and how did he keep it long? How did he keep it tight and lasted so long? He said, "Don't talk about it." And I always talk about keeping your business in your house. Yet I'm not on the new season of Power coming up in 2 weeks. Therefore, no one listens to DJ Agony.
But honestly, but again, I promise you, I promise you that Method had a pawpaw in his ear. I'm sure his wife had a
Yeah,
big mama
because you know what?
because
It was an old head that told me that. He said, no matter what you do inside your house, it ain't nasty till you talk about it.
your business is your business. And once you make it public, it becomes their business. And you don't have a right to shut they up. The problem is you've put it out there.
Yeah, you
What
did.
is because what is yours and what you love, you protect.
Mm-hmm.
You protect. Good,
Absolutely.
bad, up, down. You protect. We
Absolutely.
got a
So,
question.
so Cutter had a question for you. He said, why do women with fake body parts look for men that's real?
You know,
I love it. I
you
love it.
know, I'm gonna try my best to answer that question because I will say this. Back in the 90s, it used to be a thing where every woman, you weren't beautiful or you weren't accepted if you weren't in a single digit dress size, if you weren't like a size 4. Well, some of us have mothers who blessed us with certain things, whether it was body structure, body type, whatever. And some of us are just thick as a mug, and it came naturally.
Yes, Lord.
So, as a woman who has never had to go out and buy anything, because the good Lord just saw fit to give me everything. Now, these right here, I buy these, but because I like them, I love them. Everything else belongs to me. So I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what goes on in the mind of a woman who does different augmentation outside of maybe a couple things. They're not happy with something, or maybe they just want to enhance something. I have no idea what really makes a person literally go under the knife to get different levels of enhancement. I don't know. But to answer that question, I'll do it to the best of my ability. Why do women with fake body parts want real men? Because maybe in their minds, once they have made the purchase, it's not fake to them. I don't know. I
You know
don't know.
what? And I've heard that school of thought before too. That well, it's mine because I paid for it.
Right. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe they feel like that there is a level of this is mine now. So therefore, this is what I want. Hold on. Uh-oh. I may have to sneak away and grab my battery. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, I got my boy the real Jay Scott in the building.
I'm
Corey's
gonna sneak
heavenly cake.
away.
Corey's Heavenly Cakes, cake, muffins, and the mini buns. So if y'all trying to get y'all cake on, because it is good. Anytime's a good time to get your cake on. So holla at my boy, the real J Scott up, and there you bam at Corey's Heavenly Cakes. Grab that at, copy it, paste it in your IG, paste it in your Facebook, put it on all your socials, and go get your pound cake on. Appreciate you, Jay Scott, for coming through and tell that problem child happy born day. And he could have stopped by the quick 30, him and his Burger King hat. But yeah, I'm roasting right now. Yeah, I'm roasting. Appreciate everybody for stopping through to the quick 30. Miss Parker, you got any final thoughts for these people?
No. Only thing, well, honestly, I do. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You all forgive me. I was just talking and realized my battery was getting ready to my computer's getting ready to cut off. Final thoughts are, at the end of the day, we all have our point of view. And we all at the end of the day, we all have our point of view.
Big shout out to my
And
nephew Spud King in the building.
what's up, Spud? But only thing that we are responsible for is us as individuals. We can agree, we can disagree, but what we should never ever do is automatically believe that our voices are the only ones that need to be heard. So going back to the whole Sierra thing, I applaud women for stepping up and saying enough. Our bodies are our bodies. No one should tell us what to do. And I applaud men as well for saying, as men, We want what's ours to be ours. You should cover up. So I love the fact that we're having the conversations. My biggest thought and my biggest prayer for us moving forward is that we begin to talk to each other, because that's where we're losing it. We haven't yet, we are so divided as a culture. We're so divided, men versus women, women versus men. And that's just a trick of the enemy. If you could actually get the people who look like us to be divided, then we can be infiltrated. And I don't
Oh
care.
yeah.
Say what you want to say. I don't care how independent each party thinks they are. We need each other. Men need
Hmm.
women, women need men. So at the end of the day,
How
it's
divide and
just
conquer works.
exactly, at the end of the day, we need to be able to have those conversations and listen to each other. I hear you, brothers. I stand with you on that wasn't appropriate for what a wife should wear. I hear you, sisters. I stand with you as a woman. I stand with us. I stand with you. With our body should be our choices. And if you're beautiful, you should feel comfortable in wearing whatever you want to wear. But here's the disconnect. When are we going to start talking to each other? When are we going to listen? When are we going to hear what our brothers are saying? And when are they going to hear what their sisters are saying? We have to stop arguing and start communicating. So
Right.
those are my final thoughts on the whole situation.
Yeah, and what y'all getting tonight, people, this is cool because what y'all getting is actually like a snippet of an hour and a half, almost 2 hour conversation last night. You know what I'm saying? So there will be a show coming up where we really try to get into the meat of what's going on with relations with men and women and why is there such a disconnect. Uh
Yeah, as women, why
and
are we
so
angry? Like
right.
what's
I
going
mean
on? Like
and
why are we
and
angry?
and yeah, and we gonna have us a good sit down and try to come to some realization with that. My last thing with as far as Sierra, Russell, LeBron, and Savannah, it's just to me, like I said, the biggest thing is respect. I just feel like Savannah respect her man. LeBron don't. I've always quoted this that you could tell you tell the strength of a nation by the status of its women and children.
Mm,
So we look at LeBron house, and we don't know what Russell's children got going on, but we see his woman out here with her everything's going. But meanwhile, you got the middle boy that's actually looking like he's gonna be bigger than the oldest boy. The oldest boy is about to leave high school, go to college, or do a year semi-pro, and he's gonna be in the league in like 2 years. The middle boy is looking like he's gonna be bigger than him, probably about his dad's size. So look like things going on at the James house.
right.
And meanwhile, at the Wilson house, we seen the back of Sierra kneecaps, among other things. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's just a big thing about respect,
And she's
and
and she's
I
with
think
child too.
really to command that kind of respect, you got to carry it as well. And I just think she don't respect her man like Savannah respects hers. That's just where I'm at with that one. When
Yeah,
you wear stuff like that, you gotta be ready for the backlash. Absolutely.
you have to.
Absolutely. You wore it
You
in
have
public.
to.
So guess what? Now you made it public. If she wore that around the house, guess what? There would be no backlash because nobody would see it. Nobody would care. Nobody would even know to care because she wore it around the house.
You
But as
know
soon as
what?
she walked outside her door with that on, you made it public. You made it the world's business at that point. And so,
You,
yeah, the internet's a cruel place and they undefeated. So they will tear your ass.
yeah, you know what? Real quick before we go ahead and shut everything down for the night, I have to say this. There's another sister that we have definitely not held our tongues when it comes to her. And let's talk about just for a quick second, Miss Jada Pickett Smith.
Oh,
When
God.
it came, but hold on. Let's go all the way back to before the whole entanglement and all this stuff when they first got together. When they first got together, you can look at those older pictures where Jada's hair was really short and it was curly and it was blonde. And you might see Jada out there in the skimpiest outfits, everything. Once Jada, early on in their marriage, became Mrs. Smith, she began to cover up. And this was a woman who had an absentee father. This is a woman who had a mother that, for her own personal battles, wasn't always there. So she was there there physically, but she wasn't always there emotionally and mentally. And right, and they've addressed that too on the red table. But if you don't believe me, look back at some old pictures before all of the unraveling of the Smith family. This was prior to, I believe, this was probably prior to Willow being born. But look at those
Okay, so
images
this is
of
pretty early then.
how her attire transitioned. You could tell that she had evolved. She was still beautiful, she was still sexy, but she understood that this temple now belongs to Will. Now, that was, of course, before where we are now. So very early on, they appeared to have the right blueprint. They really did. But like I said, we always kind of knock Jada. But yeah, I definitely want to highlight when she took a stand. I'm a wife now, and I need to look a certain way. So
Definitely. I got the chat jumping right now. So I got Satori Ma. What's going on, boy? Yo, cousin Big Boy in the building. So it's a part of the agenda to divide the family united. They stand divided, they fall. That is true. That is very true.
I mean,
Uh when you have the conversation, share the link for people to chime in. To be honest, this wouldn't be the platform for that, but we working on some stuff too. Meanwhile, that chat box still work.
we got
So
you, pretty lady, cowgirl.
right, right. I got my LF in the building. Big shouts out to her. That's probably one of the biggest dope supporters and has been for the last 2 years. So big shouts out to her. Then god damn it. We got dope family alumni in the building. My boy Antonio Slim, Quentin Presley thought she was busting it down for a young nigga. That's Slim. Like you get what you get with Slim. But he's one of those, he's necessary. You gotta
But
have a
he,
Slim around.
but here's the thing. Keep in mind, we wouldn't have known that if she didn't put it out there. So hey, it
It
feels like
feels
I'm
like I'm
sitting
sitting
down
down
chopping
chopping
up
it up
with.
with Auntie. Good vibes.
Okay, okay, nephew Spud. I love it. I love it.
Which is crazy because that's like my real life nephew.
Oh, I love it.
Be out there like, hey, auntie.
I Killmonger. I love it.
Yo, but make sure, Parker, tell you folks where they can find you at if you want them looking for you.
Oh no, and you know what's so funny? Like every time, with the last couple times I've been on here, yeah, I've been getting friend requests, and it was like, oh, okay. But yes, you can find me Instagram. Instagram is what
Tina,
happened? Oh,
Tina cutting up over here. Talking about the goodies were all out and not in the jar.
man, I promise you, man, I love Tina. I love me some Tina.
I'm
But
trying to tell you.
but yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Instagram ESDION Enterprises. You can find me on Facebook. First name Stephanie, last name Parker. I'm on there with a nice little hat on, and yeah. So yeah, you can just go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Send me a friend request on Facebook. Yeah, if I see that you are mutual friends with, pardon me, DJ Agony, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that confirm. So
Right.
yeah,
And
that's
and if you out there being a creep, don't use my name for your creep shit. Be a creep on your own. Do not use my name or this platform to be a creep.
hey, I mean, right? 'Cause this is not, who was at the Creep Squad? Wasn't that like uh Love and Hip Hop New York or something
Oh,
like
wasn't it
that?
like
Yeah.
what is it, Stevie J and Benzino and all them?
No, it was Rich Dollar and somebody. They were the Creeps. No, that wasn't. I don't know. It's starting to run together now. I don't know.
Yeah, they are the same show, man. Listen, I don't like how niggas come at Russell Wilson. Hey, he's an easy mark though. What do you do? And you know the internet is a cruel place and it is
Internet is
undefeated,
not
dog.
the,
And it's undefeated.
the
Nobody's beat
internet is not your friend.
nobody's beating it yet. But yo, make sure you stay tuned right here to Dope Enterprise. Dope Enterprise on YouTube, Dope Enterprise on Facebook, Dope Dot Enterprise on Instagram. Make sure you stay tuned. Like I said, this young lady sitting right here to my end came through, and she's coming through with a lot of ideas. So there may be some situations coming up in the near future to where, yo, I need y'all to be a part of this. I really need y'all to show you support because Without y'all, and I always say this, make sure y'all hit that share button because without y'all and without the people y'all know and the people they know, then I mean, I'll just be a guy sitting in the room talking to his computer. You know
Because
what I'm
keep
saying?
in mind, because yeah, keep in mind, it's so many people out here now who we commend are hopping on the mic and they are doing podcasts and now they're doing actual lectures and sit down. But it's a difference from people just running their mouth to actually people feeding the culture. Because at the end of the day, whatever we're going to do, we're going to do our best to feed back into our culture, because we clearly know right now what's going on in today's 2023. It's not working. So it's time for us to go ahead and take the platforms the good Lord has given us to feed right back into our people, because we got some things we need to go ahead and kind of clear up. We need to go ahead and extrapolate some things that we have been taught, that we have heard over the last couple of years or years period, the brainwashing, the whole goal to infiltrate, conquer, and divide the black family. No, it's time to put it back because this is not working right now. But yeah, stay tuned.
These are facts. Everybody does not need a podcast. I will co-sign that one. Not just because I feel like I have the greatest. And by the way, yo, when it comes time, people, I'm gonna let y'all know. Let's go ahead and grab that right quick. Y'all see that right there? That was from 2000, I want to say 17, ATL's hottest
Cool.
online radio show. Me and Soccer Boss got that. Yo, I think I want another one. I think I want one for the dope show.
It's
So
time.
therefore, when nominations come up, I will definitely sit it out there and let's go ahead and put the dope show. Let's get a trophy for the dope show that says, you know what, this is ATL's hottest podcast because
It's time.
I've seen some and I've been to some.
Same here, which is why I'm like, I mean, because
I've been
honestly, because
I've been
yeah,
to some, y'all.
because honestly, you can sit in an audience and all of a sudden you just feel your chest tightening up, because it's almost like God saying, good and doggone well, there's some foolishness. If you don't get up there and use your gift of gab, your love for people, because again, Agony and I, we both have those types of spirits and energies that people just talk to.
Mhm.
So if we don't use this for to rebuild our culture, then we're sitting on our gift. Because oh my gosh, I'm not bashing anyone, but some of those podcasts where it's one, the guy just yells all day. He just
I'm
yells.
and I'm
If
gonna be
you
honest.
a man and you don't have a job, you don't need a woman. And I'm like, why are you hollering? We
I'm
can
gonna be honest.
hear you.
There was one of the more popular ones, and I'll leave them nameless. One, because I don't give out free promo here on the Dope Show, and
Same
two,
here.
you
We
know what
don't
I'm
do
saying?
it.
Yeah, no, we're not making you famous here on the Dope Show, but this
Mm-mm.
particular show is very popular. However, I can't stand it when the guest, when the host asks a question and then talks over the guest and then tries to answer the question for the guest. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I can't do this show. And the show has some great guests, but I never get their point of view because of the host. But yeah, appreciate it, LF. It is definitely time. We're gonna go ahead and bring a trophy home this year. Like I said, the nominations are coming soon, and then after that, voting's gonna start, and we're gonna blast it in your ear to get your ad online and vote. Vote. You ain't gotta go no further than your phone. You know what I'm saying? Slim, I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear it. That's we had a podcast in the works, and we still do. We still got that name tag. Ain't nobody taking culture nerds, so there's that. But Slim, I don't want to hear it. That dude said nigga podcast. I'm through with y'all. Yo, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out because my quick 30 just turned into a quick 44. Imitation is the sincere form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. That is Miss Parker. I am DJ Agony. And let's go ahead and bring home a trophy this year, y'all. Love each other, respect each other, and I'm out. Peace.